Welcome to the Bomba Pod. I'm your host, Martin Bomba, and each week we bring you meaningful conversations with guests who uplift, inspire, and encourage you to become the very best version of yourself. Whether you're chasing a dream, building something new, or just looking for a spark of motivation, you're in the right place. Produced by Dennis Ayotte and proudly supported by Window World and PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. Let's grow together. Let's be inspired. Let's get started. Hey everybody, it's Martin Bomba with the Bomba Pod, and we are taping right here at the Tobin Center.
Whoa, what's your last name?
What? Bomba.
Bomba.
Like that.
Shut your mouth.
True. Didn't make it up either, it's real.
I'm gonna need to see some ID, but go ahead.
I'll get that for you. Guys, my guest today at the San Antonio Film Festival is Greg Standifer. And Greg, I knew it before I ever sat down with him. He's a funny guy, but I had no idea. So you're in for a treat today. Greg, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you being here, man.
Sure.
So what brought you to San Antonio? What is the film festival here going to do for you in your new film?
Well, I'd better do a lot of shit because that's why we're here now. Film festivals are an opportunity for independent film makers to play their film in front of audiences and hopefully find distribution. And there might be a salesperson or someone from a streaming network or whatever that sees it. We premiered in June at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
Is it still called Romans?
No, it's the TCL. This is funny, okay. So I did a lot of printing shit, and so I just put TLC, because I thought of the group, it's like the TLC, but it's the TCL. Nobody caught it but me, but whatever. So we showed there, and we're working, on trying to get distribution for our film.
Awesome. And I've had the chance to watch it. We're going to get into the film in just a few minutes, but first I want to start. We were talking a little bit before we got started here, and fascinating route to the filmmaking industry. Take us back to when there was a young Greg, and how you grew up and where you grew up.
Wow, how far back do we go? I grew up in a small little town in southeast Alabama, and it was called Dothan, Alabama.
I know Dothan.
No, you don't.
There is actually, I kid you not, there is actually I own a company called Window World here. It's a franchise.
Uh-huh.
And there is a Window World in Dothan, Alabama.
Shut your mouth.
That's the only reason I know Dothan. My uncle was from, oh God, it'll come to me. But it's a little bitty town in Alabama too.
Down there or?
Down south, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Headland, Enterprise, Ozark.
Somethingville. I'm sure there's a lot of those too.
What?
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Did you take your Prevagen this morning?
Yeah, no.
Well,
yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah, no.
So we were 10 miles from the Florida line and 25 minutes from Selma.
Oh, man.
And so...
Deep South Alabama.
Yeah, and it was a very...
Gunnersville. I knew it would come to me.
I think you're making that up.
I'm not.
But anyway, it was a scary time because there was such
unrest. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in school when they brought the first black student to our school, and she was escorted by gunned cops and sheriffs. And
how does a kid in school, how do you process that?
Well, it's just really frightening, and you're watching the news, and at this point you have Vietnam raging. And then you have this, and I had family in Birmingham, and they had the church that blew up, and or they burnt, whatever it was. And my mom's brother was a senator from Florida, and he and my family were all for equal rights. And he got in a fist fight on the Senate floor over it, trying to pass the Equal Right Amendment. And when it passed, most of the teachers in his area quit because they refused to teach black children.
Right.
And so he took staff from his offices, and they all taught school until they could get new teachers. And so I grew up in kind of this weird cocoon where, it was okay to be who you are and what you are, and everybody, is comes from the same,
We all have the same blood.
yeah, the same God, and all that stuff. And people don't understand the legacy of prejudice that runs throughout this country. And I know that Oprah said that it would be with us until it dies out, but that's incorrect. Sorry, Oprah. Because it's passed from generation to generation.
Until you stop it.
Until it stopped, and nobody wants to stop it. I mean,
do you think this is particular to the Deep South?
no, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. And when they signed, we're going to get off on this shit. When they signed the Declaration of Independence and they signed the Constitution, they all had slaves.
True.
Every one of them had
most
slaves.
of them didn't want to give them up.
No, and had sex and had children with them. And some of them were kind enough to release them when they died. Well, isn't that nice? Or, whatever. But when it was written, all men are created equal, I mean, the ink hadn't dried and it wasn't true.
Right.
It wasn't true. And our country was built on the backs of everybody, and especially those who were forced to do labor and to be owned and that kind of thing. And I saw and experienced a lot of it. Like, a person of color wasn't supposed to come to your front door.
You have to go around to the back.
Yeah, they had to go to the side or the back door.
Yeah.
I can still remember, yes, I'm old, the white-only water fountains.
Yeah.
And bathrooms, and it's real shit. And I am shocked and amazed that in 2026 we are still dealing with this same shit that has been going on for hundreds of years, and it just blows my mind.
I think that you were right when you said it's not going to stop until you decide to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, at least in our generation, that there are many that were brought up with racist beliefs in the household,
Mm-hmm.
but have made the choice early on
Mm-hmm.
that that's not who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not who my kids are going to be.
And it's interesting.
And hopefully that continues.
A lot of, stereotypically, a lot of those people are very religious.
Which is ironic as all get.
It is just blows my mind. And coming out of religion, and it's another story.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
It's just very interesting to see how hypocrisy reigns supreme, and it just doesn't want to go away.
Well, it's embarrassing to say this out loud and to admit this, but it's the truth, is the people that are doing the most egregious things to their fellow human beings often are doing it still. Crusades have been a long time ago, but they're still doing it in the name of God.
I was going to say most major war in history started with religion over something. And to me, it's like God gives a shit. Are you kidding me? It's like, my husband is Jewish, and it's like, what are you guys going to do if you get to, your final heaven and God goes, I didn't give a shit about Jerusalem. You guys were so off. Nobody cares. Just build a temple and enjoy it.
That is a unique perspective, yeah.
So for 4,000 years, you fought over this, and I didn't really care.
But personal beliefs should be just that. They should be personal beliefs that if they are not physically affecting somebody else, who cares? Why do I care if that good person over there happens to be Buddhist, and that good person over there happens to be Methodist, and so on and so on?
Everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe, to have an opinion that they want to have, they might hate me, that's their right. Whatever. Everybody has that privilege. And whether you agree with what they are thinking or whatever, too damn bad, because they have a right to believe that.
To disagree with you too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got a right to disagree, but it doesn't mean that you get to confront somebody.
I agree.
At all.
Well, it's how you do, it's being a diplomat. And some people just aren't very good at it.
Most people are not very good at it, sadly. So you mentioned your husband.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, how was growing up gay in the Deep South? Was it as bad as I would imagine it would have been?
It's interesting, and if you're a writer out there, this would be a great story. Because my family, as I explained, were who they were. When I was like 6 or 7 years old, my dad gave me a Barbie dream house for Christmas. And my mother specifically told me, this isn't from Santa. This is from your dad.
Your dad knew.
Your dad wanted you to have this, because they didn't want me to feel isolated and separated and less than. And my dad and my brother, they had all the shit taxidermied up, and I'm like, what is your problem? Is this a Cracker Barrel? And they were hunters and fishers, and all that stuff, and they never, they loved sports and all those kind of things, and I just never cared for it. And again, I never felt ostracized or
weird.
Well,
you had supportive parents.
Very much so. And they let me do plays and, puppet shows and all that kind of shit. Now, the minute I walked out of the door and was in public, I had great friends in school, and I learned my sense of humor to survive in school, because not only was I the sissy, but I was always the fattest kid in school, so it was
Double
like
whammy.
Target,
yeah,
and I remember I was wearing a white pair of pants to school, and I came home and there was a full footprint on my ass. And my mom, takes me right back to school and walks in and says, if anybody touches my son again and you guys don't do anything, I'll get a restraining order and I'm going to sue the school system.
Good for her.
Because just because a child is different or doesn't fit into what you believe it is, allowing this to happen to them is illegal.
It's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
No.
And
it wasn't okay then, it's not okay now.
no, and it never will be. It never will be. So, you know, I got beat up and, you know, made fun of and stuff, but I think it kind of gives you a little bit of a edge, because I realized how hard life was as a child. So it wasn't like I grew up and went, what the hell? You know, everybody's like, I want to get out of the house, I want to get out of the house. It's like, stay in the house, it's free.
You understood the challenges before that.
Yeah, I just, you know, it was like I always was an adult. And when I was 6, my dad would take me into a jewelry store and go say, you know, find your mom something for Christmas. And, you know, I did. And that's just kind of who I am.
So it sounds to me like there was never a time when you were not out and you
Well, in school, I secretly had sex with guys and, you know, had girlfriends. And then when I became, I'm going to say 11th, 12th grade, it was like, Greg, you are an abomination and you are going to burn in hell. You have got to get your shit together, you know? And so it's like, okay, and that was it. And
this is you speaking to yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, now I'm going to be straight. Now I'm going to be straight, because this is, you know, what I should do, and this is, I don't want to end up a screw up, and this is, I'm obligated. And so there I went, and I got very deep into religion and Christian music. And
now tell me about this. You weren't always a filmmaker.
No.
You weren't always in the movie industry.
No.
You started in the music industry.
Yes.
In Nashville. Am I correct about that? Ish, the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me how that came about. Tell me about your first foray into the music industry.
Here's the thing about me is anything I set my hands to do, ever since I was small, I'm not even interested in doing it if I can't be as good as the average or better. So it's like technology, you can screw it, you can put it up your butt. I don't want to learn how to edit. I don't want to learn how to do all the technology. I'm too old, I'm not interested, I'm not even going to pick it up. I knew I could sing. I knew I could sing as well as the people on the radio. And so I just started singing, and I met my ex-wife, who she and her cousin sang, so we became a trio. Oh, but before that, I had a little stint with Jim and Tammy Bakker.
I've got to hear about this.
Yeah, that was a hoot. It was in the early 80s, I guess. I was there when the Jessica Hahn thing happened, not when it busted open, when it happened.
When it was actually physically happening.
And what's crazy is the whole staff knew. And we had gone and shot the show in Hawaii and came back, and Tammy stayed in LA and was like, I'm out. So
she knew at that time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so over the weekend, they changed the name of the show from the PTL show to the Jim Bakker show in case she never came back. I mean, it was like that.
Wow.
And in a week or so after she came back, and then by the time I was gone was when it busted open. But I will tell you, it was, for at some of my age, I just didn't understand why God didn't open up the earth and just swallow it whole.
Hold that thought. I want to talk a lot more about this. We got to take a break. We're going to be back with my guest, Greg Standifer, in just a minute.
This is the future team.
Oh yeah, Window World, we've been family owned and operated for 4 generations. We can't wait to see what these little guys do when they take over. Okay, maybe we can wait. I think that's best for everyone.
Want service that's honest? Window World. Service for generations.
These windows are seriously the easiest windows to clean on the market. Just a little bit of this glass cleaner, put it on there.
Window World has been family owned for generations, which means chores aren't just chores, they're part of professional development.
You got this, Layla. It's wax on, wax off.
Needless to say, things are a work in progress. For squeaky clean service you can trust, call Window World. Service for generations. Hey everybody, we're back with my guest Greg Standifer. He's a filmmaker and he is premiering in San Antonio the very funny Dave versus Hollywood. But he has such an interesting life. We're going to talk about that first and we'll get to the movie in just a minute. You were talking about Jim and Tammy Faye Bakker. Now, a lot of our younger viewers
Google it.
Google it. Believe me, it'll be worth the Google.
The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Watch it. What's her face won an Oscar
That
for
was
it.
good. That was really good.
Yeah, but it didn't touch everything.
Well, let's touch on everything.
No, because I don't want to get sued.
Oh well, let's not do that.
No. After this is over, I'll tell you a story that not very many people know, and you won't believe it. Okay.
So what I remember, I remember a lot about Jimmy and Tammy Faye and her makeup and the mascara running and him, hawking for you to send him money and all the things that they're known for. Mm-hmm. But what really, really stands out was Sam Kinnison's bit on Jim Bakker in his first stand-up. It was flipping hilarious, and he was friends with Jessica Hahn. Interesting. So, tell me some more.
Well, the guy that set Bakker up with Jessica Hahn was a healing evangelist. And he used to come, should I say allegedly so I don't get sued? Allegedly came to PTL regularly and had his healing services. And so he set up the rendezvous with the hooker. He also came on to me, allegedly. And he and Bakker were very good friends, allegedly.
Why does that not surprise me in the least?
It shouldn't.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And there was a lot of immorality.
Debauchery.
Yeah, it was like we owe Sodom and Gomorrah a big I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys, really. My bad. It's like, God, you owe Lot a good one. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
So, how long was your time with the PTL / Jim Bakker?
I was there twice, and it was probably about a year total. But here's the thing. You got to think about it. You've got a 19-year-old kid who, I just aged myself. A 19-year-old kid.
Okay, so you were only 19 when this was going on. Okay.
Yeah, which was 1993. And you're on national television 5 days a week live with millions of viewers, and you got to sing with a live orchestra, and anybody came through there, and you got to sing with them or meet them, or I got to meet Corey Tim Boone, who wrote The Hiding Place. Do you remember that?
Sure.
And just real quick, I asked her, it was like, that she was not Jewish, for you guys that don't know this. Her family hid the Jews, and then they were arrested for hiding them. And she ended everybody in her family was killed except for her and her sister. And they made a movie about it, and her sister dies and is killed. And I said, how do you get over that? You know, like, how do you overcome that kind of drama? And she said, I was speaking in a convention center in a city, and after it was over, this man comes up to me in tears, and she said, I know who you are. He said, who am I? And she said, you're the man that killed my sister. And he said, how do you know? And she goes, I recognize your eyes. And he said, I'm asking you to forgive me. And she said, I forgave you a long time ago. I don't agree with what you did. I don't agree with how you did it. And I don't know what you've done with your life, but I forgive you, and you have to live with your own,
what you've done,
your own stuff. And I thought, wow.
That is a Christian example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a Christian example. Mm-hmm. That's what we should all be aspiring to.
Of course.
Easy to say, hard to do.
Show is.
Yeah. Well, on that subject, did you know that they have an Anne Frank exhibit in Chicago right now that is a full-size recreation of the rooms in the house that they hid in Amsterdam?
Well, I went through her house.
I did too.
In Amsterdam.
It was pretty wild.
It's a funny story. It's awful, but it's a funny story. First of all, I have this thing where I feel stuff. So I'll walk in, and it's like an elephant steps on my chest, and it's like I can't breathe, and every room it just gets worse, and I'm just taking pictures and pictures, and this lady just keeps coming up and talking to me, same lady, and I'm just in other languages, and I'm like, and then so we finally get to the very end, and she says, I'm trying to tell you no pictures. And I said, now you speak English? Are you that stupid? I said, lady, I've got better pictures than you have on that table book you're selling in that effing gift store.
She couldn't have led with that?
Yeah, it's like, you didn't hear me speak English, you moron. And it's really hard to get tickets, and you have to get
it is. It's difficult.
So we walked out, and there was this family that was standing there, and I was like, did you guys get tickets? And it was a father and a wife and the daughter, and they said, no, we couldn't get tickets. I said, well, for $100 each, I'll show you my pictures that I made while I was in.
That's awful.
And then they laughed, and the daughter goes, oh, are you from America? And I was like, yeah, we are. And she goes, I have an American name, and I'm so proud of it. And I said, really? What's your name? And she says, Cheyenne. And I said, what?
A common American name.
She says, Cheyenne. I said, do you mean Cheyenne? And then she breaks down and realizes for 14 years she's been called by the wrong name, and her mother thought it was hysterical.
Well,
that was fun.
That's unique.
Yeah,
that's unique.
It was fun.
So
we ruined her whole trip. And then her mother,
she's scarred for life now.
She was and she's a manager at a hotel in Switzerland, and said, here, come, you can stay for free. I guess, when you have teenage girls are just such animals, it was like she loved seeing somebody just kick her in the ass,
I can see that. I can.
It's Cheyenne.
It's Cheyenne. So you're past your time now with the Bakkers, and move on to the next phase. Did you continue singing?
Yeah, my ex-wife and her cousin and I were a trio. We had a record deal, and that's when we moved to Nashville, and we did the whole schlepped around the frickin' continent, and sang and sold shit, and God,
how many albums did you do?
I hated it. We had 2 on our contract, okay? And you have to remember, I started at 19, and so now I'm like 30-something years old, and it's like, oh my God. And our manager called and he goes, they said they want you to sign for 8 more albums, not, the one more. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. First of all, there's no timeline on here. They're going to own me for the rest of my life. And, in Jesus' name, tell them to go fuck off. And so they came back with, every waiter in town wants what you've got. And I was like, well, now there's another slot for them. And we settled, and I got the records and, whatever, the CDs and
Were you still doing
stuff.
Christian music at the time?
Yeah. And we did a lot of studio work and stuff because there was 3 of us, so we could do, sessions and stuff, which I love so much more because you can get it perfect, and, that's what I like about it, because live music is just so hit and miss, you never know. And I just bowed out and said, I'm done.
And that was it.
That was it.
No more music career.
And that was the end of my marriage.
She didn't agree with it?
Well, apparently.
You're going to have to assume that. Allegedly.
I'm going to assume after 3 years in divorce court that she wasn't happy with that decision. And that's a whole nother book.
So after you get out of the music industry and your marriage, what was the next step for you?
Well, a couple of things. I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I gave her our business, and it was like, now what are you going to do? And I thought about getting my law degree and go and work with my uncle and all this kind of stuff. And our neighbors were developers, so I got in real estate, and then I got in real estate development. And I did that for many, 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 many years. And that was it.
And in Nashville and Franklin, that's a good business.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I built my house in 2002, and it's, 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. And I think because I built it, it was like 320,000. Now it's like $1.6 million.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's good appreciation. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's stupid appreciation.
It is. And
that
Nashville,
bubble's going to pop at some point.
So what do you think about the evolution of Broadway in Nashville? What do you think about all these singers that have bars on Broadway?
Oh,
Has it lost its charm? That's what I'm getting at.
I thought you were talking about, there's no people like show people. I'm like, bars, Broadway, and
We should
bars.
explain that there is a Broadway in Nashville as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. Shit.
Way different. Way different.
It's just a touch different than what I was anticipating there. I mean, I think it's a gimmick. It's a way for these people to make money and, have a place to play when they don't have anything else to do, and the people they want to support and give opportunities to sing. And, there's a lot of people that get signed, from doing that kind of shit. But, music is just like acting. It's all about who you know. I bummed around Nashville for 3 effing years trying to get a record deal, and I met a writer who had a couple of hits. He called a label, they signed me on, there, and they had already turned down the same tape and the same music that he had sent. But it
came from him.
Yeah, and they probably never even listened to it. So it's all about that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, the whole thing.
Well, I mean, look, Lainey Wilson, who has, she's one of the top female country artists anywhere. I think 10 years she bummed around Nashville, playing Tootsies and all the other little dive bars. And
the Bluebird.
The Bluebird, yeah. And yeah, I still love Broadway, but kind of like some of the things on the Riverwalk, it's lost a little bit of its charm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the Ernest Tubbs record store anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I agree. So what was the catalyst for you switching gears and moving into the film industry? And let me follow that up with, did you want to be an actor first or a producer first?
Well, here's the story. if anybody needs to take a crap, this would be a good time to do it if you don't want to hear this part. Okay, so I'm in South Alabama. I'm 4 years old and I'm in kindergarten. And it's open house night where the parents come and, you know, whatever. And the teacher gets everybody up there and she's like, and what you gonna be when you grow up? You know, and all the guys are like policemen and firemen and astronaut or, you know, farmer or whatever. Oh, and by the way, is this my camera? My town, Dothan, is the peanut capital of the world. Not the country, the world. Okay, so when I got up there, I said, I'm gonna be an actor. And she was like, really? And I said, oh yeah. And I'm gonna live in Hollywood and I'm gonna be Jewish. And she said, well, what makes you think that you need to become Jewish? And I said, because I watched The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and I watched the award show, and they say the Jews run Hollywood, so I'm gonna become a Jew.
Is that a true story?
Yeah, no shit.
And you had never seen a real Jew in your life? There's no way. In Alabama?
Yeah, there were.
Were there?
Yeah,
there was a synagogue in
yeah,
Dothan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the peanut capital of the world, not the country. Google it. And there's a peanut festival every year, and there's a national peanut queen, big and little. Okay, so what were we talking about?
I've lost control.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
What were we talking about, Dennis? What were we talking
acting.
about? Actor, yes,
Okay.
yes. You knew you wanted to be an actor at 4 years old.
Ooh, almost choked. Yeah, so I never really did it. And, you know, in school, I never, you know, got to do any of the plays really because I wasn't the popular kid, you know. And so, I mean, I've always been like, I've had plastic surgery. I don't care. You know, people are afraid to talk about it. I don't give a shit. But my boss that I worked with in land development, people would say, Greg, you look so much younger than your age. And he'd go, that's bullshit. It's only because he's so immature. That's the only reason they think you're younger is because you're stupid. So I have always been a little on the curve and funny and silly and tried to have a really good sense of humor. My mom, my dad, and my brother all got cancer back. Like my mom got diagnosed, and then 3 years later she died. Of course, the Thursday before Mother's Day, I was like, why not die on Mother's Day? I mean, it's perfect. And it's like, let's bury her on Sunday. Why not? You know, it's like, is this like a Tori Spelling show? What the hell? God, so.
And they died in succession?
Well,
I mean,
2 weeks after we buried her, he had a physical, and then he was diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
And then 3 years later, he died. 3 years later, my brother was diagnosed, and then 3 years later, he died. So I was now in real estate, and I was building like big commercial stuff and big mansion-y. It's like, there's 3 people, you need 10,000. My neighbor built a 22,000 square foot ranch.
that's a mall.
I was like, dude, this is a strip fucking mall. I mean, you could put a Subway, you could put a McDonald's. This could be like a super Walmart. What do you need with all this?
I'm picturing the lobby of New York, New York.
It's just like, geez, really? How small is your penis? But anyway, so, you know, you work with these people and you have to be a diplomat and you have to work through issues and problems and fights and divorce and all this crap. And finally, when I just snapped, and, you know, I was building this big ass house and I looked at her and I said, it's a doorknob. Okay? Pick a doorknob. Pick a doorknob. If you want to spend $150 on a doorknob, here's your doorknob. And then they're like, do I want white or white? White or white? And then I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. So I was at the end of my project that I was over myself. and I was over the sales team, and I don't know, I just kind of had a turn, and I've always, like I said, felt stuff and knew stuff, and this agent, a real estate agent came up to me, and she had written a pilot for ABC that picked up, and she said, there's a guy that's moving to Nashville, and he's gonna do production, and I would like for him to meet you. And I'm like, for what? Does he need a house? And she goes, no, I want you to meet him, because I think he could use you. And I'm like, as a prostitute? What are you talking about? So anyway, I go in, and it's this big warehouse, and there's one light with a stool, and there's a table with 4 people, and I sat down, and the guy goes, make me laugh. And I do characters. I have a lot of characters in me. A lot. And so I just did, some of my stuff.
Do you remember the first thing you did for him?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
I don't know. It might be offensive.
Well, I'll let you judge that one.
Well, first of all, I am not racist, but I do have a black lady that lives in me. Okay. And so I brought her up. And so here's what I said. Should I look at my camera or look at you?
Look at the camera, please.
Okay, you ready? And I said, hello, my name is Shanika Motika Lucretia Tanisa Jackson. And me and my friend Watusi Jenkins, what we do is we go down to the mall between Thanksgiving and about the first week of December, and there's a man that has a kiosk in the center of the mall, and it's between Victoria's Secretions and Bath and Body Works. And I got a story about Victoria's Secretions you will not believe. My pussycat swelled up because I had a reaction to their bath thing. Oh, it was awful. I had to get an egg turner to get myself up. And so, anyway, there's a man that does jewelry, and what I do is on these 3 teeth right here on this side, I get the 3 wise men, and then on this tooth, I get the Star of Bethlehem, because here's how I feel about it. When I smile, I help to spread the gospel.
That is phenomenal.
Isn't it?
How did you not end up on Saturday Night Live at
I
some
don't
point?
know. Well, they offered me Groundlings, and I'm like, who am I gonna play? Like the grandfather on Oxygen? I mean, okay. Could the help get me a napkin? I need some help. Because I need a runner. Or maybe somebody has a maxi pad or something with wings. Anything that's absorbent. Other than a tampon, because it's not going to work. Oh, you're just precious as pie. Okay, so what were we talking about?
We were talking about your first audition.
Yeah, so.
Now, did you draw from, when we get into Dave versus Hollywood, you actually play a casting agent in that movie. And did you
He is sweetheart.
He is such a nice guy. He is very respectful. Very respectful. But did you take any of that from this first audition? Or was there somebody that you auditioned for that formed that?
Of course, there's assholes everywhere. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
But any one in particular?
I can't talk about it, but it's like, I mean, and it's in any industry, because it was in real estate. I was in the top 10%, and I was up there with them, and they all were just like, peacocks. I'm like, honey, you're a real estate agent, okay? We don't give a fuck how much money you make every year. You're not curing cancer, you're selling a house. Okay, you're on a 12, I need you to dial down to a 2.875. And it's the same thing.
But you're right, every industry has that.
And it's like, people on set, and I'm like, dude, you're an actor. My whole thing is, do we need to break?
I don't know, do we need to break?
Do we need to break?
No.
Okay, so my whole... my whole thing...
Here are all the other characters I did.
Yeah, here's my thing is, You know, I'm not impressed by anybody. I'm not impressed with myself. I'm not impressed with anybody. We're all people, and people that have been uber successful in certain fields, most of the time it's because they knew somebody, they were related to somebody, or they had the effing lucky break. And that's the only difference between any of us. Because guess what? We all shit. Speaking of which, I'm talking to my camera here. When I travel, I cannot take a crap. So when I get back to LA, if I don't shit by Sunday, I will be going to the emergency room.
That's an uncomfortable feeling, isn't it?
I feel like I am full to here.
And yet you're sitting here talking with me, and I appreciate that very
And
much.
I feel so bloated and gassy. You can't believe it. So now is it time for a break? We'll be back after this message.
What he said. Thank you so much to our sponsor, PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. If you want to try the very best small batch roasted coffee that you're going to find anywhere, look no further than PJ's Coffee of New Orleans. 2 great locations to serve you in the San Antonio area at Camp Bullis and I-10 and at 281 and Bulverde Road. You're going to find all your favorites at both locations, from wonderful espressos, macchiatos, you name it, they've got it, as well as some delicious energy drinks, as well as our signature granita. And beignets, yeah, you bet we have them, and they are phenomenal. Be sure to stop by the PJ's closest to you and try any of our wonderful coffees, teas, and pastries. Thanks again to PJ's Coffee of New Orleans for sponsoring the Bomba Pod. Okay, everybody, we're back on the Bomba Pod. We've been having a little fun here with Greg Standifer, and
Colonoscopies.
why he is not world famous is beyond me.
Exactly.
One of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life. Greg, thanks again for being here, man. Appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you for
hanging
having
out.
me.
And so let's get into your movie career. What was the first film that you did?
Okay, so that guy put me in a streaming show, and he said, I just want to see what you look like on film, so I'm going to put you in one episode, and I did. And then my character took, I always play like the rapist, the killer, the bad guy, the shit stirrer, the problem, you know, the straight guy, the mean guy. And that's hard to, that's acting.
That's acting, right there.
You're a bitch. Anyway.
I'm trying to picture this because I've only seen you in the one role.
Well, I'll show you my reel.
Okay, good, good.
It's called Death. So, anyway, they liked me, so I was in the whole season, and we ended up having 6,000 views. And this was in 2013. Streaming had just started. Then Variety picked us up as one of the top 10 streaming shows with us and Orange is the New Black, and we had more viewers than they did,
Wow.
which was unbelievable.
I've heard of it.
And then they had an award show here because these weren't part of the Emmys then, and I won Best Supporting Actor. And so from that, I got an agent in New York and then an agent here. And I did a couple of movies and a mini-series. And I got to work with some really great people. Terry Kaiser, the dead guy from Weekend at Bernie's, he is so sweet. Just a great guy, I love him. And so I was done with, my real estate was like, if I stay in it, I'm probably gonna kill somebody. It's just gonna be over. And so I called the people that own the firm and just said, I think I am done. And I'll stay on as your broker for a while because you legally have to have one. And I have left brain, right brain because I've got the artsy fartsy shit, but then I also have the, the law
brain.
and the contract law and all that crap, which means my brain never shuts off, which is a problem. And I had some properties, I sold them, and then I called an estate sale company, and they came out and I said, I'm gonna pretend like I'm dead. Okay? And he was high end because it was like, I'm not giving this shit away. and you have the clientele that will pay, you know, for what I want to get rid of. And we marked everything, and we sold it. I put my shit in a pod, and I got on a plane with a carry-on, a suitcase, and a cardboard box of stuff that I mailed, and I never went back.
Did you have family out there?
No, I didn't know
Friends?
anybody.
Nobody.
True story. I mean, you know, you talk about the 5% or the 2%, I'm the 1%. I mean, if it's gonna fuck up, you're looking at it. I mean, there's 1,000 stories I could tell you. So it's like, just go ahead and schedule the surgery. I'm sure it's not going to fall off. So just go ahead. And so my agents had put me in touch with this broker who got me a roommate with this guy in Beverly Hills. And I think, Beverly Hills, you know, I don't think I'll get raped and pillaged immediately. And I mailed my car out. And so it was here when I got here, and so the guy picks me up at the airport. You know, it's kind of weird, but I'm like, no, you know, I don't, whatever, you know. So we get to the house, and I walk in, and I am not even shitting you, okay? On every end table, console, shitter, sink, the kitchen were framed colored pictures of me from the internet.
Oh, that's scary.
And
That's frightening.
I'm all over his house. And he goes to the grocery store, and I call my agent. I said, well, here's the good news. I'm not going to fit in the freezer.
I have my first fan.
No. Yeah, bro. Number one, I said, the good news is I'm not going to fit in the freezer unless he has a hell of a chainsaw. So we got to figure this shit out pretty quick. So I got out of there as quick as I can, and I promise you this would be, if anybody steals this, I swear I'll kill you. The morning I woke up after I told him I was moving out, every one of those frames had a different picture in it.
That is freaky.
Is that not
That is
the
really
weirdest
weird.
shit? And I'm like, welcome to California.
That's insane.
God. So I moved out here, and one of my first gigs was filming a homeless man giving this guy a blowjob because I couldn't pay him for my drugs. And my one line was, and I'm down on my knees at his crotch, and the camera's up here, and I was like, is this gonna be gluten-free? First line in LA. And I did some crazy shit. And then I got my SAG card, and you know, I began to work on better projects and bigger things and getting offered parts. And then I had some shitty agents. And if anybody says, like in the movie, do agents go to heaven? They don't.
Well, this is a perfect jumping off point for the reason that we got together today, and that's to talk about your new movie.
Is that why we're here?
I forgot, but
Okay.
it sounds like a good thing to talk about.
We might as well.
So your new movie, Dave versus Hollywood.
This cup sweats more than a whore in church. I'm not even kidding you. Look at this. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Note to Dennis, koozies next time. Okay, koozies.
Linen spots.
Not good.
Yeah.
So,
Wait. Told you it was gassy. Go ahead.
so I was
ahead.
fortunate enough to be
Pull
able
it
to watch
together.
it, Dave versus Hollywood, and so much of what you're telling me from your real life, I saw in that movie.
Yeah, no shit.
It's crazy, and forgive me, but Preston, why does he have three names? It's
I
help
don't
me
know.
out.
You know, when I was coming out here, I just told him, I was like, dude, you're lucky I know your first name. And if you think I'm going to learn two more, you are way mistaken. Preston Lee Ward, I think. Stupid. Go ahead. God.
Well, Preston Lee Ward
I hope that's right. Please tell me it.
It is actually Preston Tyler Ward.
Oh, I said that. Tyler. I love you, Preston, more than my lunch.
So
That's what you get for having 3 names.
I had no idea what to expect going into this movie. Didn't know what it was about. I didn't want to read or look at anything about it. I just wanted to watch it. And
No Cliff's Notes.
no, none. The first scene where he is auditioning, that was the first scene, right?
And they talk about his little hands.
And there are 2 casting agents. One of them, I don't want to spoil it, but one of them's you.
No, I'm not in that scene. That's 2
Oh wait, no.
women.
There's later that you were, but again, equally mean.
Oh, yeah. I was way better.
So these 2 people listen to his soliloquy. He does it great. He's a little dramatic and over the top. But then what happens? After they say, "Oh, you'd be perfect for this."
Well, then they realize that he's too short and his hands are too small. So it's like, get out.
And he's standing right there while they're
Next.
talking about
I
this.
think his hands are just tiny.
And he goes, "My hands aren't small."
Yeah, exactly.
But this movie is about somebody who moves to Hollywood and LA
And knows
from
nobody.
the Midwest, right? Ohio, I think. Knows no one, and he just goes out there with this strong belief that he is going to be a star. The movie picks up 20 years later, 10 years later.
No, it's like 20
No, it's like 20 years. Yeah. So the movie picks up. He's been in Hollywood for 22 years or whatever it is. He's gotten 0 major parts, if any parts at all. I never really got whether he got some really good parts or not.
Well, he got to be the guy that gets stuck in the porta potty in that movie.
That was his big
That
role
was
in the
his
movie.
first role, yeah.
And the commercial, the French commercial.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that was for like a douche.
I believe it was. I believe it was.
Because you know what? We all should be fresh.
So it follows this guy with a documentary crew. Vincent Spano plays the interviewer throughout the movie, and he's great too, by the way. I love how serious he is throughout the entire movie.
And he's a very sweet man.
Seems like he would be. Yeah, he does. And the girl who plays
Chloe. That shows her boobs.
she's funny. Oh yeah,
She's cute.
Of course they blur it out because it's a documentary.
Well, as a producer, I got to see her.
So what does this movie say about Hollywood? Is it an homage to the struggles that every actor goes through? Is it an indictment of the industry itself? What's the message you're trying to get out there?
Thank you for asking that question.
Because you've never been asked it before, I'm certain.
It's like, I have to watch this again. Oh my God. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, so
We haven't even finished yet.
I'm not done. Really. So A Chorus Line is a musical, which, you know, most of us know.
Sure.
Right? Hey, in the hat, I'm talking to you. You know A Chorus Line? No. Okay, that's,
Uncultured
he's
swine.
fired. So, you've never heard one singular sensation? Yes. Liar. Anyway, so what they did was they took stories of all these dancers and then wrote a script and put it to music. And so Brad Dixon, who is the writer of our film, he's an Emmy Award winning writer. He wrote for Tonight Show and David Letterman. Stupid Pet Tricks. Don't you miss him?
I do.
Me too. And now he does that heart commercial. I feel so bad for him. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen that one.
Get your heart checked out. I don't want to win the race, but I don't want to get kicked out.
Wow. And what's up with that beard, ZZ Top?
I don't
mean,
know what the deal is with that. And he's a race car team owner now. That's what he's doing now. He owns a racing team. Well, I'm sure he retired with a pretty good pension.
Ew. So anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about your film,
Yeah, I know that, but there was something specific.
the chorus line,
Yeah, what? Oh, yeah.
bringing the
Okay.
stories together.
See, you're supposed to be leading me. I told you to rein me in, rein me in.
I told you I lost
rein me
control
in.
last segment.
So, so Brad has been in the industry a while. So what he did was in a similar scenario to the musical, is he took all these actors' crazy ass stories and put them together into this movie. Plus, he read a book by, I'm so bad with people's names, so I'm just going to say Chandler Bing. What's his name? What was his name? He passed away.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah. Oh, you know that name. This is so sad. So, and in the book, he talks about how a person was supposed to be Chandler and got an offer for another pilot, which he thought was better than Friends. And so he left Friends and went to the other pilot.
Let me guess, he did not make it big.
Well, thanks for ruining it for everybody else. So he called, the guy called and said, my friends and that, whatever. And so that's how he got Chandler. And then the other guy show didn't even get picked up. So part of the message of this film is anything you do in life, there is a percentage of nothing but pure luck. It's like scratching off those scratchers,
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like you're either gonna win it and,
Your life has changed.
your life has changed forever, or you're gonna, now not be able to buy a stick of gum. So it's just chance. And the stories are, it's some of it's a little hard to watch. It's a little cringy.
It is.
It's,
I will say
it's tough to watch, but
the links that he'll go to.
well, which everybody,
fulfill
I
his
know
dream.
people that have wrecked a car into somebody famous.
So they could meet them.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, I'm not going to give away the entire plot of the movie, but he does some things and joins some organizations that he has no business joining, only because he thinks that maybe an industry insider will be
get
there.
a connection. Yeah, of course. I mean, haven't we all done that? I mean, for hell, I could be a Scientologist today and tomorrow. Yeah, it's a commentary on the system. But here's my thing, and this is what I hope people will take away from this, is in the world, well, let me go back. When I saw Mary Poppins, I know, isn't that random? When I saw Mary Poppins, I was little, and the Tippin song came on, and it made me cry. And so my uncle, who was an astronaut, took me to see it, and when we got in the car, he said, "Why were you crying?" And I said, "I don't know. It just looked sad, it sounded sad, it
touched something in you.
It just made me
Yeah.
sad." And from that, I realized that motion pictures, television to an extent, music, are some of the only mediums that have the ability to reach into your very soul and your spirit and touch you and change you. And that is a powerful tool. And I think our industry has forgotten about it. I really do. I just, most of the movies we see, it's like a regurgitation of the same shit. And then we say in the, the movie, it's like, how many, comic book movies can you see? And I want to get back to seeing things and being able to touch people in a way that is important. And this film, to me, in the way that it works, is in the temperature of the world today, in our country. And regardless of who you have sex with, who you believe is God or not God, who you vote for, how you vote, if you're educated, if you're not educated, what your color of your skin is, it doesn't matter. This movie will do three things, which I think Hollywood has forgotten about a lot. Number one is it's a chance for all of us to get away and be entertained.
And it is entertaining.
And escape and enjoy it, to laugh and release and relax and actually, get something out of it. But the third thing, which I think might be the most important, is that it has the ability to encourage people. Because I think so much and so many of us are discouraged and we're frightened and we're troubled and angry, and sometimes rightfully so. And whatever, that we're going through, this is a David and Goliath story. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, in its essence, that's exactly what it is.
And you can come away through the craziness and see that the good guy, he's kind of a good guy, but Preston Lee Ward.
No, Tyler.
Is it Tyler?
Preston Tyler Ward.
Tyler, okay, really, you gotta drop that middle name. I'm really, I love you, but that's bad. So, we all need to be encouraged to, come away and feel like, I'm gonna get through this. I can face this. I can live through this. When I moved here, and I've been here 11 years, I had lived here 4 years, and I fell twice. And I spent 4 years of those 11 years in surgeries and rehab and learning how to walk twice, and feeling like I was, at an aquarium looking in, and I couldn't get in, and that everybody was going on, and it was such a dark, dark place. And when you don't feel like you can reach God, that's a scary place to be.
That is frightening.
But what I learned was that if the God of creation created me, boy, this has been the weirdest interview. If the God of creation created me, I don't have to explain to him how I feel, or her, or whatever. I don't have to explain to this entity, because in this black shithole box that I find myself in, that I can't see light anywhere, so I don't know how to step, I don't know where to step, they're sitting here and understand that fear and understand that angst and that anger and all of those things. And I think coming out of it on the other side, it gave me such a depth of understanding how dark people can be and how desperate, that they can be, and hopeless and fear. And so the one thing that I would say is we were all put on this planet with a purpose and a plan, and there's no mistake. And I know what it feels like to get thrown to the ground. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to get kicked. But you know what? When somebody kicks your ass forward, you're just taking a step ahead, you know? And I always look at it like, because you know, your mind, I can go from, you know, living in a nice house to under a interstate in about 15 minutes because of my anxiety and post-traumatic stress and stuff, which mental health would be a whole nother show that you should talk about. I'm not done. God. And so I just, to be able to tap into that and to bring a depth to a character that I never could have done and never been, you know, that scary or, you know, like you don't have to be scary like I'm a scary person. You know, to me, being scary is kind of like, my scary guy is the quiet. It's like, oh, so that's what you think you're gonna do? I'd like to see you try. And to me, that's, you know, a little scarier than.
It is, and I think that many more people have that fear within them than we know. And you're right, mental health is absolutely a subject that we're going to cover on this show in depth.
And never, ever, ever be afraid to get help, to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with having depression. There's been such a stigma around post-traumatic stress syndrome and anxiety and all of those things.
Well, that's what's perpetuated.
And,
That's why it's so prevalent.
And I just think the more of us that can bring that out into the open and say, you know, I deal with it and I, you know, go through it. I will say there's a documentary on Amazon Prime and it's called Heal, Heal. And I would recommend it to anybody. It's like these 10 doctors and they have patients from all around the world that are terminal or paraplegic or are, you know, you can't help them with their depression anymore or whatever. And they all came out of it and it's like the top 10 things that all of them did that was similar to each other from all over the world, all different religions, all different kinds of medicine. But there's a common denominator between all of it. And the number one was forgiveness, but the most interesting thing to me was it was self-forgiveness.
That is so hard for many people.
Well, you know, I heard it and I was like, self-forgiveness, what have I done? You know, I'm a pretty nice person. And then I got to thinking about, it's not what you do, it's what you carry. Like, you know, from being a little kid in Alabama and feeling like I let my dad and my brother and my family down because I wasn't normal and I wasn't, you know, all that. And there's all of that stuff that we carry, and if we don't deal with it, then it eats us from the inside out. And it's very, 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 very powerful.
Well, thank you for making a film that gets this point across in a very humorous way.
It's very funny.
But it's also, at its core, kind of touching and definitely encouraging, because this guy has a I'm not quitting attitude. Even when he's telling himself, I'm going to quit, he won't quit.
No.
Watch it. Dave versus Hollywood. Where can people watch it?
Well, that's a good question. What was your name again?
Martin.
Martin. Thank you, Martin, for asking that question. And it's Preston, don't tell me, Preston Tyler Ward.
You got it. You got it.
See, I took my Prevagen. So the deal is, with film festivals, what they do is we try to get distribution. So right now we are negotiating with a few things and we're trying to get distribution, but I don't want just anything. You know, I want somebody, because this is so well done. I mean, I get scripts all the time you know, from network shows and shit, and it's like they're so awful, and this was one of the really good ones. And so I hope it gets a home where the distribution company cares and gets behind it and pushes it, because you know, when you turn on HBO Max, there's, you know, 4,000 things come up.
Oh yeah.
And unless they're pushing it and advertising it or getting behind it, you know, you're just lost in a shuffle of a million things. So, you know, we want to try to find the right fit for us for this particular project.
Well, I hope you find it soon.
Me too.
I feel very fortunate that I got to see an advanced screening of it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was hilarious. Greg, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for probably the best, the best show I've ever done. Thank you.
Duh.
But I didn't do it. He did it.
Yeah, and if you're watching, I have an agent, but I am willing to negotiate.
Greg Standifer, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Bomba Pod.
Bye. What kind of name is that?
It's Polish, believe it or not.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm adopted, so who knows? Thank you for tuning in to the Bomba Pod. If this episode encouraged you, share it with a friend, post it, and help us spread the inspiration. Special thanks to our producer, Dennis Ayotte, and to our sponsors, Window World and PJ's Coffee of New Orleans, for helping make these conversations possible. I'm Martin Bomba, and remember, your story matters, your voice matters, and your impact starts now. Until next time, go out and spread some kindness. Make the world a better place. The views expressed on this show by the guest or the host may not reflect those of our sponsors.
I only get 40 minutes. 60. Well, I'm just fucking. I'm gonna be like Joan Rivers. My vagina is so dry. How dry is it?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I'm on face number 3, so I should. I don't want to look old or fat.
You look perfect.
Yeah, that means bullshit. I'm 66.
You're 66?
I have 5 grandkids.
Dude.
I told you I'm on face number 3. I'm not kidding
You
you.
look good.
Oh, my doctor.
I hope I look this good when I'm 55.
Well, you need to have some work done. I told my doctor, I said, cut off enough skin to build Chaz Bono a penis and go. Yeah. I'm a giver.
Oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be such a boring interview.
You might have to pull me in because I will talk. So just say, shut the fuck up. Wild pony. Welcome to Texas. We can do 2 damn shows and it can be like part 1, part 2.
Oh my God. Wow.
Finish it because I'm not shitting anymore. We haven't even talked about the movie.
This is just almost too crazy to believe. This is nuts.
And I wore my goddamn boots today because I thought that's what we was gonna be doing. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to Patsy Cline.
Man.
So I did go out in front of, right before we start, the Alamo. Did you guys watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Of
Do you
course.
remember?
Of course.
Okay, so I found these people from Spain that couldn't speak English. And I said, I'm gonna turn the camera to you and I want you to nod yes. And then I'm gonna turn the camera back and you say Adobe, okay? So they were like, okay. So I was like, hi, and welcome to the Alamo. I'm gonna be your tour guide. My name is Tina. And then I went back to them and I was like, could you hold your questions till the end of the tour, okay? Thank you. And they were like, so then I came back and I said, do we have any Mexican Americans with us today? Well, buenos dias. Now our first display is my favorite. It's Pedro and his lovely wife Inez. They live in an Adobe. Can you say that with me? Adobe. And then I came back and I said, Inez is holding a clay pot she's very proud of. She has hand painted it and covered it with glaze. And they loved it. Hi, and welcome to the Alamo, right here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm gonna be your tour guide, and my name is Tina. Excuse me, could you hold your questions till the end of the tour, okay? Thank you.
Oh, by the way, do we have any Mexican Americans with us here today? Buenos dias. Now, when we get inside, I'm going to show you first my favorite display, which is Pedro and his lovely wife Inez. They live in an adobe. Can you say that with me? Adobe. Now, their adobe is built on the side of an Indian burial mound. You will also see that Inez is holding a clay pot that she's very proud of, and she's covered it with glaze. Y'all have been my favorite tour today, and I mean it. Thank you.
So what do we think?